Thomas Tuchel said last night he had had a bad Christmas job-wise. Well, his prospects took an upturn pretty quickly. 3 days ago, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's ability to get Manchester United to the summit of the Premier League and his restorative powers used on Pogba, Shaw and Bailly were being lauded. Not so much today. When Jose Mourinho and Jurgen Klopp last butted heads, they were vying for top spot. In fact, on Christmas Day, Liverpool had a 4-point lead at the top. Tonight, the winner takes fourth. Yeah, football is a cruel beast, even more so this season. This week we've been lucky enough to bring you 9 games from this electrifying Premier League campaign. It's been dizzying at times. The thriller of Burnley Villa, Chelsea's keep ball session, Pickford's fumble, Arteta's interview in the aftermath of a win at Saints. Then last night, United cut down by the blades of Sheffield Steel. Shall we make this climax 10 out of 10? Tottenham start with Hugo Lloris in goal. Joe Rodon, Eric Dyer and Ben Davies are the back three. Serge Aurier will play as a right wing back tonight. Matt Doherty as a left wing back. Højbjerg and Ndombele in the centre, with Bergwijn and Son supporting Kane in attack. Liverpool, Alisson in goal. Alexander-Arnold, Henderson, Matip and Robertson, the back four. Milner, Thiago and Wijnaldum in midfield. Mo Salah, Sadio Mane, both flank. Roberto Firmino in attack. Both Jose Mourinho and Jurgen Klopp, who have had their pops at one another in the past, are laughing together in the tunnel before coming out and taking their positions on the edge of their technical area. This is a sensational stadium. The floodlights so bright, the grass trimmed neatly, almost fluorescent green, with the bright red jerseys of Liverpool visible against that backdrop, and the bright, crisply ironed white jerseys and dark blue shorts of Tottenham Hotspur ready to go. The only thing missing is the noise from the south stand away to our right hand side, the big white wall of noise which we've seen already in this new plush state-of-the-art home with its sloping stands and its elegant roof. Martin Atkinson is our referee. And Tottenham attacking the goal away to our right in the first half. Liverpool in red attacking the goal away to our right. And it is going to be one hell of a matchup. Dean Ashton alongside me in the commentary box. We are ready. We are waiting. And as the big scoreboards, all four of them that hang from this huge stadium, sing "Come on you Spurs," the players all drop to their knee to show their support for the fight against racism and social injustice. The whistle goes, we're off and underway, and Dean Ashton, how much of this is must win for both, or is it must not lose?
Well, of course it's vital for both, as Liverpool already on the front foot.
Yeah, and they're coming down that left-hand side. It was up to Firmino towards the edge of the area and then tucked out wide to the left, and Sadio Mane picked off by Rodon, who's playing at the right of the three centre-halves, and cleared upfield. And very quickly they're on to the attack with Bergwijn down the right. Tottenham Hotspur, a fast start to the game, as you may have anticipated. It's a cool night in London, but nothing more than that. The temperature almost in double digits. Both Dean and I, before kick-off, discarded our big winter jackets, and there was a moment where Dean was questioning ever wearing a hat again tonight. But you've got it back on again now.
I mean, just look, when all you've got is skin on the top of your head, then eventually you have to succumb to the bobble hat. But yeah, just this game, I think it's huge for both. They'll have seen how impressive Manchester City's 7 wins in a row have been in the Premier League, and they'll know how threatening that is, and they can't allow them to get away, which is why I think this match has taken on even more importance.
Totally agree. It is the penultimate game of January for Liverpool, and they're yet to score a Premier League goal in 2021. They are 439, nearly 440 minutes now without a Premier League goal. Tottenham gave their fans hope in the early part of the season that this could be their year. They last won the league in 1961, but since that pivotal night between the two at Anfield, their form has undulated. Bit of breaking news for you reaching us in the last few minutes as far as TalkSport sources are concerned. Alex Crook, our transfer guru, says that Jesse Lingard to West Ham is agreed in principle. Here's Mane inside the penalty area, trying to get beyond Aurier. He shoots, it's just narrowly wide. What an opportunity to score the opening goal for Sadio Mane. He has been out of luck in front of goal since the 4-1 win over Villa's kids. There was a stumble by Aurier. The ball squirmed through the Tottenham back line. Mane was onto it, but he steered it wide.
Yeah, what an opportunity that was. And it was a long ball. Just a long ball played forward towards Mane, who nodded it down to Salah. And he doesn't just stand and admire the header. He quickly spins in behind. Lovely weighted pass from Salah. Mane didn't have to check his stride, but he allows it to come across his body and then hit it with his left foot. I think he needs to open up his body.
Ndombele onto Kane. Now Son running through the centre. 1-on-1, he doesn't miss. Under Alisson and in. And seconds after Liverpool should have gone ahead, Harry Kane has once again provided a bullet for Heung-min Son to rifle home. He puts Spurs in front just 3 minutes into the game, and the record books are being ripped up again.
Well, if you wanted a contrast between confident and clinical, well, it's just been shown in a matter of a minute. One end, Mane can't take his chance and looks uncomfortable. The next minute, Harry Kane drops short as he has done all season, gets his head up, and all he sees is that flash of white shirt that Son makes that run in behind as they're just checking, of course, as always, for offside in the build-up. But once again, it was just magnificent from Kane into Son, and Son just faked as if he was going to hit it into the far post.
I've got a horrible feeling here, Dean, that a very good goal is going to be ruled out because of a heel going back the way. I think this goal's not going to stand. I've got a feeling here that the way it's being mapped in front of us is that this is going to be ruled out. The offside indication hasn't come up in the stadium yet, but I can tell you it's going to be ruled out, and the referee is going to do the television sign with his hands. He will cancel that goal out, and it does not mean that the scoreline has altered. It's still Tottenham 0, Liverpool 0.
Well, a massive exhale as he's in again.
And this time Son tries to gallop towards the edge of the area, but it's cut out by Alisson, who gobbles it up in front of the goal away to our left and bowls it out into the centre. Well, there's a big let-off, I think, for Liverpool, as Ndombele fights in midfield with Wijnaldum, wins that fight. Henderson pinched it away from Kane midway inside opposition territory. It's picked up by Doherty down the left-hand side and onto Son, who gets towards the byline. When you see that back later on, when you see a still of it, you won't believe that's given for offside, because Son is coming back towards the halfway line as the initial ball is won by Tanguy Ndombele in midfield, and he then pushes it into the path of Son. It's just that half of his boot is behind Trent Alexander-Arnold's left armpit.
It's incredible, isn't it?
It's so infinitesimal, it's so small.
But he is offside.
He is offside.
But obviously it comes from a pass that then gets played into him. He then lays it off, and then Kane plays. So it's not the last ball. It's actually the maybe third to last phase of the play. But he is offside. So that's them the rules, as they say.
Them's the rules. They are. Tottenham 0, Liverpool 0. What a start that would have been. We've had Mane have a chance. We've had a goal disallowed for Heung-min Son so far in this game, and we've only played 5.5 minutes on Talk Sport. Well, we did think there that Harry Kane had broken the record for the number of assists provided to one player in a season, but that didn't happen in the end because the goal was chalked off. The finish was absolutely superb. The way he rolled it to the left, to the right of Alisson and in at the near post was an excellent finish from the South Korean. Here is Firmino at the other end, dancing forward towards the edge of the box. He's blocked by Davis, goes down looking for a foul. That was suggested as a dive from the Welshman, who was absolutely furious with Firmino. Martin Atkinson allowed play on, and then Dyer, under a little bit of pressure, decided just to spoon the ball out for a throw-in deep inside Tottenham territory. It's on the Liverpool right, it's level with the edge of the box. It goes to Thiago, and then it's sent on into midfield for Henderson to come and join in the party. He plays it left to Robertson. There's an assist king down that left-hand side. Plays it back to Henderson once again, and it goes all the way through to Matip, who is in the team, and he has had an injury hit season himself. It's only his 12th appearance of the campaign. He's just run into traffic and had the ball pinched off him by Dyer, and then Son tries to volley the ball from inside the centre circle 5 yards in his own half, looking to catch out Alisson, but he didn't catch the ball at all well. The score is Tottenham 0, Liverpool 0 on TalkSport with Now TV, and don't forget you can watch Arsenal versus Manchester United live this Saturday with Now TV. Sky Sports Pass is available for just $9.99. Search Now TV.
Can I finally get a sentence out? I mean, it's been a no, not you. I just mean it's been a ferocious start to this game, hasn't it? It's been fantastic, and we haven't had a chance to say, but Matip and Henderson mightily relieved. Massive exhale when that was given offside, because they were so static. Just a ball played back from Son, and then he span in between the two of them and was in and took his goal unbelievably well, but that was way too easy from a defensive point of view.
Here's Bergwijn, right side for Tottenham on the attack. Tottenham haven't won successive league games since November, but they are very tricky to knock over. And they're unbeaten in 8 games, still in the Europa League. They're in the Carabao Cup final, the FA Cup, and they are in with a shout for the top 4. Are they in with a shout for the title? We might find out tonight. Here is Firmino picking the ball up after Tottenham thought the ball had gone out of play on the far side. A slip by Mane just slows their progress down the Liverpool left. It's picked up by Milner and then sent out to the right, where it's collected by Trent Alexander-Arnold. Infield it goes to Salah, across to Wijnaldum, then on to Firmino. Good quick passing from Liverpool as they try to play the ball over the top towards Wijnaldum, who made a late run, headed away by Rodon, picked up in midfield and now won by Spurs, and they charge forward with Son, who dances away from Henderson but not away from Alexander-Arnold, who cuts in, wins it inside the centre circle, gets it back to his goalkeeper. It remains 0-0. Here's Dean Ashton.
Yeah, they've just got a little bit of an issue at the moment, Tottenham, with playing just 2 in midfield. They're outnumbered, and Firmino is just dropping deep and constantly getting that ball into feet, and not one of the 3 centre-backs are deciding to come out with him. They've got to.
Yeah, having they've got to get involved in that, because they're getting so outnumbered.
Yeah, really, Dyer needs to step out, and I suppose he's just that frightened to leave that space for Mane or Salah to sprint in between, because Mane and Salah are against Rodon and Davis. They're not worried about the wing backs as such. When they are in possession, they're just up against it's 3 against 3 at the back.
Ball headed away by over the top of Rodon's head. He was going to head it and then got a whack in the face, and it ran behind him, and Mane has chased it out towards the corner flag. He's moved back towards the edge of the area, produced a cross towards the far post. Thiago is underneath it, heads it towards the middle of the goal, where Firmino goes down again under very little pressure, and it's cleared away by Aurier. Back as far as Robertson, and Liverpool on the attack again. It's goalless on TalkSport. Live and exclusive national radio commentary from the big game of the week. Rodon's still got a problem. Referee's played on. Here's Mane into the area. He's shooting. It's blocked by Dyer and collected by Bergwijn and smashed out of play, so Rodon can get some treatment. The Tottenham players are pointing out to Martin Atkinson, the referee, this evening, that there was a head injury and he should have really called a halt to proceedings.
But he carried on, Rodon. He'd gone down and then he'd carried on and gone through the whole phase of the attack, and then once they then got the ball away, he's then going down as if, I think he might have just got maybe an elbow in the throat rather than
I think it was a foul. I think the initial challenge by Sadio Mane, where he sticks his hand right into the throat of Rodon, was a foul, but the assistant on this near side, Constantine,
like Karate Kid style.
Yeah, it was a bit
Cobra Kai. Just
That's another Netflix drama that you've been watching, isn't it?
No, it's not.
Yeah. I only know that's a Netflix drama because Max Rushton's been tweeting about it. You're listening to TalkSport. 11 minutes played in the first half. It's Tottenham 0, Liverpool 0, and Dean Ashton is alongside us at this wonderful stadium with its big raking cop away to our right hand side, empty apart from a few cameramen and stewards peering out of the concrete exits. It'll be great when fans can get back in here. We do hope that it's not too far away. Here is Doherty on the halfway line, and Jurgen Klopp is being rather vocal on the edge of his technical area. It's something that Jose Mourinho pointed out actually in his pre-match press conference. He said, I think maybe the authorities should look at that. Well, he said that in a roundabout way. He said, I had to curb my behaviour and I'm very proud that I have. Here's Doherty moving up to midway inside the opposition half. His ball forward isn't good enough. That was a left. It was a right footer playing on the left there, wasn't it? Because he found himself in a decent position and with 2 to aim at in front of him, but he couldn't quite pull off the pass. Yeah, I think that's obviously going to hinder them at times with having Doherty on the left-hand side. Firmino picking the ball up in the number 10 position and moving it out to the right. looking for Salah, who himself has gone through a little bit of a lean spell in the Premier League. He did score against Manchester United on Sunday. In the Premier League, he has gone, I think, 5 games without scoring. Does like to score against Spurs, though. 3 goals in his last 4 games against them. And he's making his 200th appearance in English football today, Mohamed Salah. Here is Wijnaldum, midway inside Tottenham territory. Just a bit right of centre, moves into Thiago, who loses the ball under pressure from Højbjerg, who turns and runs it up to Kane. Kane then gets fouled by Thiago. It's a free kick just right of the centre circle for Tottenham Hotspur.
He's definitely not used to the physicality and the pressure of the Premier League yet, Thiago. I think he will do, because he's an unbelievable talent, but in quite a few games I've seen, he's been dispossessed quite easily, thinking he's got more time, thinking he's in the Bundesliga maybe, where Bayern are just completely dominating. And again, that's where Højbjerg is just so good. As soon as any pressure in front of the back fours. This is a worry, by the way.
Yes,
Harry Kane's gone down.
Seen Harry Kane, and I think usually I'd be more concerned if it was an impact injury, but it doesn't look like it was an impact injury, and he is holding, I think he's holding his right ankle here, Harry Kane. It's after that collision with Thiago, and he's holding his head as if to say this is a problem. He's stayed down for a bit.
He sort of, as he stepped towards Thiago's body as he was tackled, I think maybe just really close to his body. If you can imagine going into I can't do it, but imagine going into a ballerina position and almost flexing that ankle out to the outside. I think what he's done, and
I don't think there's many of us who can imagine doing that, mate.
No, that's true.
Yeah, it's one of those manoeuvres that's not familiar to me. But I understand what you mean, and I think that is a problem, isn't it? Because he's had some ankle issues before.
Yeah, I think when you damage ligaments, they don't just repair right back to how they were before. They get looser and looser over time, and the more times you roll them, the looser they get, and the harder it is to come back and strengthen them. It's one of the most difficult things to get the strength back in your ligaments, and that's the worry. Is it that sort of reoccurring ankle ligament that Harry Kane seems to get seasonally?
Well, he's back on the field of play, and Tottenham have won the ball high up inside the Liverpool half, but a foul was committed apparently by Højbjerg. I'm not entirely sure about that, but it was a little bit nervous right from the very moment that Alisson started to play the ball from inside his 6-yard box, because it looked as if Tottenham were going to put on the full-court press. They did that, and it was only the luck of the referee's whistle that stopped them from getting a shot on goal. Ball worked out wide towards the left, and Robertson, who elevates it to the edge of the area. It's helped on by Højbjerg, cut out by Matip, and now it's on to Firmino. Firmino now works it wide. Salah trying to take on Doherty, comes infield to Firmino, and now it's collected by Wijnaldum. He's just midway inside the Tottenham half of the field. A scooped ball down the right channel by Thiago. A header back to Milner. Milner collects it, plays it out wide towards the right. Across from Alexander-Arnold is so big it clears the penalty area on the far side. It's retrieved by Robertson back to the edge of the box, where now it's with Thiago, swirled forward by Milner, found by Alexander-Arnold. This cross is a little bit better, steered away by a diving Ben Davies, legs high in the air as he prodded it to the edge of the box. Still Liverpool push on. They come down the left with Mane. He approaches Serge Aurier, goes through his legs, gets the ball back of Firmino. Then on the edge of the area, he tries to play it into Alexander-Arnold, but he was caught in two minds. He should have given it to Thiago. He didn't, and it's away by Matt Doherty to the midway point of the Tottenham half. But it's all Liverpool at the moment, Dean Ashton.
It certainly is, and Bergwijn, the reason why he starts pretty much every Premier League game is because defensively he really does do his job. Right back there, help defending when Robertson's bombing forward. Literally, it's only Kane left at the top end of the pitch for Tottenham. They're happy to be in this position under Jose Mourinho's management, and they'll then just look to spring as soon as they win the ball back.
17 minutes gone on TalkSport. We've had a goal disallowed for Tottenham. We've had Mane shoot wide from inside the box after 3 minutes. those two incidents happened in around about a 90-second period. But here's Kane getting towards the halfway line. Before he can escape from Thiago, across comes Henderson and nudges the ball out and away for a throw into Tottenham in the Liverpool half. From 4 a.m. every weekday morning, you can download all of the highlights of TalkSport on our daily podcast. It includes some of the best bits from TalkSport, TalkSport 2, some post-match reaction, some of the big goals as well. It's the TalkSport Daily, which is available via Apple, Spotify or Acast. And also tomorrow morning when you wake up, there'll be a brand new Game Day Premier League preview podcast ahead of Game Week 21, which starts this week. And what a Saturday we've got for you, including Arsenal against Manchester United on Game Day, which starts at 11 o'clock on Saturday morning. Ball is picked up by Liverpool off the Tottenham throw-in and cleared up towards the edge of the Tottenham penalty area, but I think Salah was in an offside position, so when Firmino tried to feed him, it was easily cut out by the Tottenham defence.
Liverpool haven't exactly started as if they're low on confidence, is it? In terms of the way they're playing through midfield and into Firmino's feet, that's all looking pretty slick and pretty sharp. It's just that final bit of creativity, bit of quality within the penalty area just outside that they're still lacking.
Ball is cleared from the left by Henderson, deep inside his own half, up to the other end of the pitch where Eric Dyer was waiting to bring that down. A risky pass from Harry Kane does find Serge Aurier, who burns over the halfway line, then looks to try and play in Son, but there was a tackle on Aurier and it ran through to Bergwijn instead. He then just motors into the centre circle. It goes back to Ndombele, and now Spurs keep hold of possession. 19 gone on TalkSport. And they did struggle, Tottenham, against a much altered Wickham team on Monday night, or their team was much altered against Wickham on Monday night, but they scored 3 late goals when their big hitters came off the bench. The big hitters are certainly starting today. Here's Kane, one of those, trying to feed Son. It's headed away by Matip, almost runs through to Aurier far side, cleared by Milner, picked up on the far touchline by Mane, who's nudged by Højbjerg. He robs him, turns the ball away to the halfway line, and Højbjerg has it once again. Martin Atkinson allowed that to go. Mane, who went down with his arms in front of his head, facing the grass, looks up, gives a scowl to Martin Atkinson. Hasn't been as free-flowing this season as he Sadio Mane. He's had a bit of a lean spell. 9 goals this campaign. He usually goes toe for toe with Mohamed Salah, who's looking for his 20th goal of the season tonight.
Yeah, I think just one of the a number of Liverpool players that maybe hasn't been as sharp.
Ball over the top of Matip's head and he doesn't get there, and Son does, and he cuts infield inside the penalty area, goes to ground, is nudged by the Cameroonian, but gets up very quickly. No suggestion of a penalty, and Martin Atkinson just looked at it, turned and ran away, and the ball safely ended up into the arms of Alisson.
Wow, the difference in pace though. Son against Matip, he was away really, allowed him back in, because when he went to take the ball in front of Matip, he just cut the corner too quickly and allowed Matip to just get his body in the way, but he'd completely outstripped him for pace.
There's no doubt that that's the recipe for success for Tottenham Hotspur tonight, isn't it? It's to pick the ball up, try and expose Liverpool with that pace in behind. If they can do that, they will get joy.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest sort of weapon that you can use against Liverpool is that one pass, that one quick pass in behind the right-hand side centre-back.
Here is Salah trying to control it inside the area. A tussle with Ben Davies, sees the ball spill out towards this near touchline. Milner goes across. It's Doherty who gets there first. It's played off Trent Alexander-Arnold. Lovely take from Salah out of the sky. Brings it down and then feeds Thiago. They go back to the halfway line, and now it's with Matip on to Thiago once again. His hair newly shaved once again, a bit like Hugh Woozencross actually. Infield to Milner, then on to Firmino, who strikes from distance. It's straight down the throat of Hugo Lloris, who pats it and then immediately dispatches upfield very quickly towards Harry Kane, who takes it down. Bergwijn, Son joining here, running towards the edge of the area. He's going to get into the box. He shoots. This time it's straight at Alisson and straight into the gloves of a grateful Brazilian. Well, that was another quick, swift attack. Picked out from Lloris's long kick by Kane. Bumped on to Bergwijn, who shifted it on to Son, who was in.
How easy was that? One big kick forward from Lloris.
Here's another one at the other end, which is sent forward by Thiago. Doesn't reach Mane, cut out by Lloris. Sorry, Dean.
Yeah, no, I mean, just in terms of One quick ball out from Lloris. Henderson gets backed into by Kane, and the ball just falls to Bergwijn, who's keeping up with play, and suddenly 2v1 against Matip. He just plays it across to the left. Son's in. You're expecting him to really test Alisson properly, and it's a weak effort with his left foot. With that chance that he scored, took it really nicely, picked his spot. This time he just tries to drill it and scuffed it rather.
In double A, down the left channel once more, looking for Son. This time cut out by Henderson, cleared away by Alisson. Rather nonchalantly over the top of the South Korean, brought down by Trent Alexander-Arnold. Højbjerg just lost Thiago for a moment. It's broken to the right, and Salah looks up, plays infield, finds Thiago, switches the play from the right side to the left. Andrew Robertson takes it out and into the wing position. Ball is picked up and played back infield to Milner once more, who plays a low ball to the back edge of the penalty area, where Firmino just drops a little bit deeper away from the three centre halves, then plays it square. Alexander-Arnold with a chance to cross, maybe takes a couple of steps forward. He's got Milner in support, who's buzzing around that midfield area, doing very well for a veteran of 35 years and 550 appearances. It's on to Henderson, who breaks out from centre half, has some space to run into, plays it off to Mane, who takes it off Firmino's toes. Then Salah looks to return it. Mane is there, and it's a great save by Lloris. While the Tottenham defenders look across towards the assistant on the near side, screaming for offside, but it was a beautiful prod by Mane, who I do believe would have been ruled out offside for a similar reason to why Son's goal was chalked off, because the initial pass he was coming back from an offside position.
Oh, but wasn't it great play after that?
Sensational.
Just a quick, incisive 1-2 with Salah, who just flicked it over the top of the Tottenham defence, and he stretched. It was almost just too far out for him.
Milner moving towards the edge of the area, tries to get to the edge of the box, and he's stopped in his tracks by a challenge by Eric Dyer. There was a collision involving Thiago and Højbjerg, and Thiago once again has come a cropper.
Well, he doesn't need to dive in here. I mean, Højbjerg has got the ball just outside the 18-yard line, plays it out. I know they've been pretty good on the counter-attack, but he doesn't need to dive in. Højbjerg's clever. He makes the most of it, leaves his leg just dangling in there like a little fishing rod, just takes a tiny touch and flings himself over as if he's been bounced off a trampoline.
Well, for the latest odds, head to Betfair, the official betting partner of TalkSport's Premier League coverage. Right now you can get a Tottenham win at 14-5, back the draw at 13-5. You can back Liverpool to win at 11-10, and they're going through the centre here. It's missed by Davis, it's picked up by Salah, across comes Dyer and tidies up for him. Well, he got his mate out of a hole there, and then almost Doherty put them in another one. He's given it away, and here is Alexander-Arnold onto Wijnaldum. Just gone back a little bit because Tottenham have recovered their shape, but it's back on the right side with Alexander-Arnold, who's crossed into the box, is headed away by Joe Rodon, and then it's chested down by Wijnaldum, and it's coming back again. That was an opportunity, and Ben Davies almost had a problem.
He did. I think Jose needs to do something tactically, because they're far too deep. It's 3v3 for the three centre-backs against Salah, Mane and Firmino, and there's only two in midfield, so they're getting outnumbered by Liverpool's three.
Mane on the left, trying to turn, does get towards the edge of the area after running off Serge Aurier. He's got it back into the feet of Thiago. Now it's Salah right side, trying to come in field, prodded away by Doherty, helped on to Son to Kane, who's got attention immediately from Matip, looks to wriggle from him, and then before he can take a quick free kick, Trent Alexander-Arnold kicks the ball away. So Liverpool will be able to reset. 26 rather intense minutes gone, and it's Tottenham Hotspur 0, Liverpool 0, and here's the thoughts of Dean Ashton.
It's exactly what you'd expect of a top-level, elite Premier League football match. Tactically really interesting, with the fact that Tottenham have changed and they're playing three at the back, and it's 3 against 3. Liverpool 3 and then outnumbered in midfield, but that threat on the counter-attack is always there.
When it's there again as Bergwijn spins and then plays it out wide, and Kane is in the area, but he can't get past Matip, who comes across almost as if he sort of glides across the turf, doesn't he, Matip? He looks as if he's very sort of nonchalant about going across the cover, but he always seems to just get there in time and stick out one of his very long, lean, slender limbs and poke the ball away. Højbjerg looking for Aurier over on the far side. Liverpool on their longest winless run for 4 years, and they're out of the FA Cup as well. They've gone from scrapping for the title to scrapping to get back into the top 4. But Jurgen Klopp says he isn't in a bad mood. I'm not just a good weather boss, he said, which is a good job because apparently there's snow forecast at the weekend.
Well, he's not hiding it very well, is he?
Here's Son picking it up in a pocket of space, running off Thiago, cutting infield, finding Bergwijn, skips past one challenge, pushes Doherty a little bit too wide. They need to recover the ball by the corner flag here now, Spurs. They do that with Davis, who pokes it back infield. It's found to Ndombele, and then he goes square. And the momentum has gone out of the Tottenham attack, and they'll just slow again. 28 gone. You're listening to Talk Sport. Live and exclusive coverage from the new Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, where Tottenham thought they'd taken the lead early in the game, only to see the goal disallowed by the VAR. And Mane had a really good chance just prior to that. Apart from that, it's been a really tight encounter. Liverpool have had more of the possession of the ball. Tottenham have had the only shot on target in the match so far. Dyer onto Højbjerg, centre circle, back to Dyer once again. Dyer goes forward up to Harry Kane. Everton Newcastle is 12:30 on Saturday, by the way. We've got 3 Premier League games around the grounds with Adrian Durham at 2:30 on game day, and then at 5:30 it's Arsenal against Manchester United before 8 o'clock Southampton against Aston Villa. Here's Doherty, left side, cross into the box, headed into the air by Jordan Henderson, drops on the edge of the D. Good take by Bergwijn to keep Tottenham in the ascendancy. Comes back to Doherty, who takes on Trent Alexander-Arnold, tries to play it down the left to Son. It takes a deflection off the defender and goes out for the first corner of the game.
They just don't look quite as good, do they, Tottenham? When Liverpool sit deep, as they have done just in the last couple of minutes, they don't look quite as sharp and with neat and tidy ideas. It's all pretty slow, the build-up, and it goes back to Højbjerg and into Ndombele and out to the fullbacks. They look a different side when they counter-attack. I
think it's also a problem with Doherty being so right-footed on this near side.
Yeah, they are missing Reguilón's quality on that left-hand side.
Here's the cross by Son, right under the goalkeeper, who clutches it from the sky, and it is cleared away by Alisson, and quickly out to Trent Alexander-Arnold, who is rather agriculturally snapped in two by Bergwijn, who's quite happy to take one for the team there. There's the yellow card.
Well, again, it's a bit unnecessary, to be honest. I'm pretty sure that Bergwijn could keep with Alexander-Arnold for pace. So, again, is there any real need to put yourself on a yellow card? I mean, to me, these are poor decisions that, depends on what area of the pitch you're looking to give the free kick away, whether you've got to declare to yourself whether it's worth a yellow card.
No Reguilón in the squad, by the way, this evening, but Alderweireld and Sanchez are available. They're both on the bench, which is why I think a few of us were quite confused when the team sheet came out that they decided to go with a left footer a right footer in the left fullback position, because they have Davis who can do that, and he's been moved into a centre half position, which could be used occupied by somebody else. Here's Salah over on the far side. Robertson heads it down, scuttles it back to Thiago. Thiago is in the midpoint of the Tottenham half, then further back to the halfway line, and Henderson. And as Dean was saying, well, you just wonder whether or not that negligence, that picking up a yellow card at this stage, might end up becoming a bigger problem later down the line. We've only played half an hour. It's still goalless in a tight, tense match between two of the bigwigs in the Premier League. It's had a lot more thrills and spills than the match I was at last night, where Chelsea basically kept the ball for 87 minutes and Wolves had 2 attacks, I think, in the match. Ball is up to Mane, tackled from behind by Rodon, releases Højbjerg, the swashbuckling central midfielder, who plays it infield to Son, who stretches to try and keep hold of it but can't. and it's cleared away. Højbjerg is so important for Spurs this season. He's been a brilliant purchase. Absolutely fits into this system superbly for Jose Mourinho. Ball out wide to the left, collected by Robertson. He's a couple of steps back from the left edge of the area. It goes into Milner, then on to Wijnaldum. Tottenham back in shape with 5 strung across the edge of the 18-yard box, making it difficult for Liverpool to pass through them. We're into the 32nd minute of the first half, and you're listening to Talk Sport.
I think they're just, again, when it goes out to certainly Alexander-Arnold, you're just so used to him getting out of his feet and playing, or even first time, just whipping that ball in, and he just looks like he's not willing to pull the trigger as often and keeps cutting back, and again just slows the play right down for Liverpool.
What's that, confidence?
Has to be, or he doesn't feel like, again, there's the same level of intensity in terms of runners into the box that maybe they had.
There's one here, and it's Mane played into the area, trying to square it for Salah, who was coming up on the edge of the 6-yard box, but he didn't quite get there. Good defending by a retreating Eric Dyer, who's gone down, and they want the referee to stop the game because there's an issue for Eric Dyer. They've eventually done that. He's crawling around inside the 6-yard box, Eric Dyer. Harry Kane is down again, which is another concern, and again he's rolling around, and Andrew Robertson is across there this time, checking on his progress, and again it's ankle trouble for Harry Kane. Son is across, has a quick word. Kane not looking happy, Dyer looking just as unhappy. There was a tangle between him and Mane, Dyer, which was an issue.
Yeah, I think Mane just landed on the back of his ankle almost, Dyer, and I think that's where he's been hurt. And Harry Kane, that when the ball went flying out from Lloris, he's gone to back in, and sometimes when you do that, you go to back in and force your body up against the defender. He just a monitor in front of us just showing us the replay. As you do that, as you step across, sometimes you just step on their foot, and you can just roll your ankle a little bit. I've done that a couple of times. As you make that really forceful step, as if you're going to shoulder barge into them, you then just that driving foot. If you stand on someone's foot, it's like when you go on a beach and you stand on that first pebble. Not nice.
I must admit, I got quite good at that. I lived in Southsea in Portsmouth for a while, and it's Pebble Beach, so you're down there all the time. You got used to your sort of balance, your core balance. Good for your core, though, keeping you upright.
Absolutely.
Harry Kane is not upright.
No,
he is still down inside the Liverpool half. Eric Dyer is back on his feet. He doesn't look particularly comfortable, I must admit. He gingerly moves into the midway point of the Tottenham half and then just stretches out his hamstring. Harry Kane is about to get back on his feet now. I'm not entirely sure he's going to be able to continue here.
No, he doesn't look very comfortable as he's walking off the pitch, and if that is what he's done with it, it did look like he did step on Henderson's foot as he tried to force his weight back.
And now they have got trouble, because if he's out for any prolonged period of time, the chance of them winning the title are slim to none, aren't they?
Of course they are. I mean, Vinicius has done well in the cup competitions, but you just don't replace Harry Kane. It's as simple as that. He's one of the world's best forwards.
Well, he's still getting a bit of treatment. There is a spray out from the physio on the left ankle of Harry Kane, who is getting back to his feet and is asking to come back on. We're back underway, and Thiago is tussling with Ndombele in the centre of the midfield. What a great twirl that was by the former Lyon man. And Kane is up to pick the ball up and send Son through the centre. Alisson's come out to the perimeter of his penalty area. Now, did he handle outside the box there? The Tottenham players suggest he did. I'm not sure if Son is genuine in his belief that handling happened outside the box. It was right on the very edge. VAR will certainly look at it, but I think the check will be complete very quickly. I think he was inside the box. What about you?
I do as well. I just think his feet were maybe outside, but he'd really sort of dropped himself back into the area.
He was backpedaling very quickly, wasn't he? Because he knew he'd come too far. Here's Firmino in that number 10 position, looking for Mane. Across comes Rodon and just gets there in time and hooks the ball away. And it's another good piece of defending by Joe Rodon.
Yeah, he's struggling with Mane. He makes such clever runs, Sadio Mane, from out to in. Great ball as well from Firmino. Just slipped it past Dyer into Sadio Mane, but Joe Rodon, brilliant last-ditch tackle. It was all or nothing. It was a penalty if he didn't get that right.
He was frustrated that he had allowed Mane to get in that position in the first place, but I think he would have been impressed with his own technique of getting in from the side of Mane to hook the ball away. It was very good last-ditch tackle. Ball over the top again by Dyer, this time a little bit too heavy, doesn't run through to Bergwijn. It's come out by Alisson and cleared away. Fight of My Life returns this Sunday at 9:30 on TalkSport. Series 2 kicks off with Frank Bruno, who discusses his fight with Oliver McCall for the WBC heavyweight crown at the old Wembley, the venue of legends in 1995. That's the Fight of My Life this Sunday at 9:30. It's only on TalkSport. And this is only on TalkSport as well. And Kane has bundled his way through and shot from 25 yards, but did he use his hand to bundle his way through? That's the accusation from Martin Atkinson. And Harry Kane, who is still hobbling.
Yeah, he doesn't look comfortable. I mean, he struck that volley pretty well.
Salah trying to escape in behind the Tottenham defence. This time Lloris is the one who comes to the edge of his box and clears away with a smashed clearance right on the edge of the box. Jose Mourinho comes out to the edge of his technical area, has a little whisper in the ear of Pierre-Emile Højbjerg and also Heung-min Son. Matt Doherty comes out to the near touchline. I think he's struggled a little bit left wing back. Matt Doherty has played as a left back for the Republic of Ireland on occasion. Ball into the area, headed away by Rodon. Picked up by Ndombele, flicks it further from the Tottenham goal. Aurier will now collect it, edge of the area, play it into some space for Son. Son runs up to the edge of the box, but he's not going to play that long ball down the left channel because he doesn't think Harry Kane is able to gallop and get it. So he just stops, holds it up, plays it into Kane, and then they go back into the centre.
Yeah, I think, of course, if it's not on to play it into Kane or play it in behind quickly, then you've got to be patient and wait for that opportunity. Because Liverpool will be switched on now to it. As soon as that ball hasn't got any pressure on it from a red shirt, then Matip and Henderson will drop. Is that you just opened up a cottage or shepherd's pie?
Yeah, that's what I do in the middle of a commentary, yeah. Well, no, it isn't me, but I also smelt it, so it's got to be... Who is it? It wasn't Croft? No, he's got custard creams tonight. He said he bought them for me because they're my favourite, although I've since learned his former housemate has told me that he used to eat them all the time when they lived together. So I know they're not for me. Here's Højbjerg down the left-hand side, moving the ball centrally onto Ndombele. Then back to Højbjerg once again. Tottenham coming forward here. It's 0-0 on TalkSport. And Tottenham have had the ball in the net, only for it to be chalked off because of an offside decision given by VAR in the build-up to the goal. Ndombele sends the ball wide out towards the far side, then drops deep to pick the return up from Serge Aurier. He's just in front of the centre circle, shade right of centre. Back to Davis, now out to the left side of the pitch, and Doherty, a slide from Firmino. Weaving back infield was Doherty, and Tottenham just content just to calm proceedings down and keep hold of the ball. Højbjerg skips away from Mane, bit of space for Rodon to push the ball into the path of Aurier down the right side, but again, there's not much aggression about the Tottenham attack. It's safe and cautious, and they just wait before deciding to take that gamble. The gambles when they take it are going to be when they're very deep, and Liverpool have got a high line and they can spin in behind. That's their plan. Here is, that's a poor ball by Doherty into Davis, and now they've sent Liverpool away inadvertently, and Trent Alexander-Arnold has played a 1-2 with Salah to get down the right side of the box. Mane is coming into the 6-yard box, and it just flashes beyond him and goes out on the far side.
Yeah, that wasn't great defending from Eric Dyer. Found himself very flat-footed. Quick 1-2 between Alexander-Arnold and Salah. Just again, Salah just doesn't look anywhere near as comfortable on his right foot as he does his left, and he just kind of ambled that ball into the area with no real incisiveness.
Firmino skips away from Højbjerg, gets to the edge of the area. Mane on the edge of the D now, befuddles himself, and Ndombele spots that chance to snap up and win the ball. He does that, and Bergwijn then turns it towards this left side, looking for the run of Son, but Matip read it, and this time positioned himself perfectly and prodded the ball back to his goalkeeper. 0-0.
Well, if he wouldn't have been if the ball had been better, and there's the difference. Bergwijn to Kane in terms of that delivery for Son's run. just under hit from Bergwijn, who's yet to score in the Premier League. He's the odd one out, really, isn't he?
Yep.
In that front three, but defensively I have been very impressed. We've hardly seen anything from Robertson on that left-hand side, and he's a big part of that.
Yeah, without a goal this season. He did score in his debut in a big game against Manchester City, didn't he? He's had groin adductor problems. Jose says the goals will come eventually for him. Well, that was a poor free kick taken quickly by Mane inside the Tottenham half, and he's given it straight to Son, who was alert, picked it off. And now Tottenham have the ball. Dyer sends it out wide towards Doherty, who just loops a header into an area, hoping that someone's going to jump on it. But that person who jumps on it is Joel Matip, and Liverpool have it back again. It remains 0-0 on TalkSport. Thiago onto Firmino. A run by Mane into the area. He's got Aurier for company, but he shoots anyway, and it's saved by Hugo Lloris. It was straight at him, in fairness, and it was a good height, but he patted it clear. He had to be on his toes. It was a good run by Mane, that, and he opened up the Tottenham defence.
I mean, how many times are they going to allow Mane to make that run?
Milner down the left, looking to get the ball into the box, cut out by Ndombele and sent out towards the far side. 3 minutes to go before the end of the first half. Son is the aimed recipient from Bergwijn's pass again. It's too heavy from Bergwijn and cut out by Alisson away to our left. The score's Tottenham 0, Liverpool 0. TalkSport with WeBuyAnyCar.com. Sell your car in under an hour, leaving you with more time to enjoy the football.
Again, if that ball's right from Bergwijn, it's a 2v1 situation for Son and Kane against Matip. Just that little bit of quality that he lacks compared to the other two. And as for Liverpool, time and time again, Mane is getting in on that left-hand side, whether it's Aurier or Rodon. They cannot stay with him, or they're switching off.
Motoring down the left is Thiago, looking for Robertson, whose cross just hits the back of Serge Aurier. And it goes out over on the far side. I think that's going to be the first corner of the evening for Liverpool.
I mean, obviously Firmino playing the way that he does, it is difficult for Dyer or Rodon to know whether to go out and press him, and they did that time, and he slipped the ball down between the two of them for Mane.
Corner in towards the near post, headed away by Højbjerg, and then Bergwijn is underneath it, but Thiago's pushing him in the back. Free kick on the edge of the box, and that set piece comes to nothing for Liverpool. 4 shots on goal from Liverpool, 2 from Spurs so far. 58% of the ball for the Reds, 42 for Spurs. Out of those 4 shots they've had, 2 of them have been on target. Only 1 for Spurs so far, but they also had a goal disallowed. This is TalkSport, and we've got 60 seconds before the conclusion of this first half. Andy Goldstein and Jason Cundy will take your calls tonight. 08717 2233 44. That's the number to call if you want to get into the sports bar. Saw Jason last night in good form at Stamford Bridge, and those boys will, I'm sure, be entertaining. They were pretty entertaining last night, weren't they? Andy wasn't happy for some reason. I couldn't really work out what that was about. Manchester United lose or something? Oh yeah, they did, didn't they? He wasn't happy about that. Free kick in front of the centre circle. It's a great show. It's brilliant when you're driving home and you've got that on the radio. It's great football debate, and they do make me smile.
They are mad as a box of frogs, them two, aren't they? Absolutely brilliant.
Alan Brazil, Ray Parlour and Trevor Sinclair back on the radio from 6 o'clock tomorrow morning, getting ready for the weekend's action, because of course this is the last match in the Premier League this match week, and the first one is at 12:30 on Saturday. We start again. Ball out to the far side, collected by Mane. Mane moves to the edge of the penalty area. 4 minutes of added time at the end of the first half. A low ball into the 6-yard box, which is steered away by Rodon, and it's out to the far side. It bounces out of the perimeter of the pitch and behind the electronic advertising boardings and away for a throw-in over on the far side. Down by the corner flag, Robertson. There was a claim of offside against James Milner. Eventually that claim is shielded by the referee Martin Atkinson, and it's a free kick to Spurs once again. And the game's sort of just being controlled by Spurs here towards half-time. They're almost managing it to the break.
Yeah, they are. I think both teams will feel that there's real positivity in terms of getting that first goal. 2 or 3 times Mane has got himself in behind with opportunities, and if Tottenham get it right, like they did for the disallowed goal, then there is space to counter-attack against Liverpool. Just so far, either the last tiny bit of quality, the ball, or the shot at the end of it just hasn't matched up to everything else in this game.
Milner, just in front of the halfway line, takes the ball from Alexander-Arnold. Liverpool trying to carve open another attack. Milner leaves it for Firmino, who's dropped out to the right side now. His ball square was straight to Son, but Thiago pitched his pocket and then sends the ball into Mane, whose header crashes against Rodon, spills out to the far side. Robertson might try to recycle this. He gets towards the corner flag and then comes back infield. A little touch by Firmino. Edge of the area is Wijnaldum. Wijnaldum's got Trent Alexander-Arnold arriving on the edge of the box. He scoops it forward, looking for Salah, away by a well-positioned Dyer. There's a bit of manoeuvring in the box which sees Ben Davies go to ground, and a free kick is given against Trent Alexander-Arnold. And we're back with Spurs having another free kick on the edge of their own penalty area.
Yeah, I mean, they look pretty comfortable, I think, Tottenham, when they sit really deep and allow Liverpool to have the ball. It's when actually they're higher up the pitch and Liverpool quickly play it into Firmino, and then the runs of Salah and Mane, of course, which is their strength, where they look dangerous. But it's trying to get the right balance for Jose's team. If I was him, I'd certainly be moving to a four at the back and get that extra man in midfield, because Liverpool really have dominated most of this game.
Salah trying to get a run on Ben Davies, who spotted in his wing mirrors that Salah was chasing him down and breathing down his neck, and without wanting to panic, he just decided to scoop the ball on this near side and out for a throw-in. Jose Mourinho furious because the ball was given away cheaply over on the far side again by Spurs. They've got to do better than that when they've got possession. Here is Henderson, just short of the halfway line, square into Matip. Matip just fiddles with it, turns it back into Henderson, who's played at centre-back now on 3 consecutive Premier League appearances. It's over the top, looking for Mane, who's in behind. A low ball into the near post, and Firmino is there to breach the offside trap and steer it beyond a stranded Hugo Lloris. A ball down the left channel, Mane in behind, squaring the ball into the 6-yard box. And 483 minutes since their last goal, Liverpool have scored in the Premier League again.
Well, they've struggled all in that first half. Rodon and that man Serge Aurier just switches off totally to his job. You're a defender, make sure you defend, make sure that you switched on. It's not as if it's a particularly clever run from Mane. He just runs inside Aurier and then in behind Rodon, who doesn't spot him either. Great run, and he's so unselfish. He could take this on himself if he wanted to. He doesn't. He just half volleys it, bobbles it along the ground past Lloris. Dyer thinks Lloris should grab it, and he probably should.
Dyer and Lloris completely left it for one another. Neither of them got involved. It was spilt between the two and straight through to Roberto Firmino, who always scores against Tottenham. It's his 5th goal in 7 appearances against them, and it gives Liverpool the lead at the break. Tottenham Hotspur 0, Liverpool 1. Tottenham 0, Liverpool 0 at half-time was about to be the scoreline until Hugo Lloris and Eric Dyer got in a little bit of a muddle, and Roberto Firmino nipped in, poked home, and Liverpool, with the last kick of that first 45 minutes, put themselves in front. It's prompted a double change at half-time for Tottenham Hotspur. Aurier and Kane are off, and Lamela and Harry Winks are on. There's also a change at half-time for Liverpool. Nat Phillips comes into the centre-back position in place of Joel Matip, who's been substituted. Here's Mane, straight from the kick-off up to Salah, edge of the D, smuggled through to Firmino, inside the area, skips away from Rodon, still inside the 6-yard box. It's Salah onto his left foot, drives it goalwards over the top of the crossbar. Well, they almost started the second half as they finished the first. They lead by a goal to 0. It could very much be 2, Dean Ashton.
They've got to switch on in midfield, Tottenham. They get an overrun in that middle of the park. easy ball, just slipped right through midfield all the way to Salah, who played Firmino in. Firmino just couldn't quite get it away from Rodon's reach, but he's clever enough just to play it backwards towards Salah in the box. He does really well to feint the shot with his left foot, take it another yard as they're giving the ball away again.
And they come forward over on the right hand side, Liverpool, towards the edge of the area. It's headed away by Matt Doherty this time. I'll run through the formation in just a second for you, but Mane's got it again, in from Doherty, right footed towards the far corner, spooned away by Lloris, comes back to Trent Alexander-Arnold. It's 2-0 now, and Liverpool, who hadn't scored a goal in 2021 before today, had scored either side of half-time to take this game away from Tottenham Hotspur in the blink of an eye. Jose Mourinho has just made a double change, but it's double trouble from Liverpool either side of the break. That's done huge damage to Tottenham's title aspirations. It's Tottenham 0, Liverpool 2.
Well, Hugo Lloris, you can maybe, just maybe, blame someone else in Eric Dyer and Aurier for the first goal, but you can't blame anyone else for this. It's a weak shot from Mane, just out inside of the foot, curling to the far post. Lloris just parries it straight out to Trent Alexander-Arnold, who comes in, and with this wet surface, he just skims it into the surface and it skids away into the far corner. Brilliant finish from him, but Lloris got to parry that out of play.
Trent Alexander-Arnold, whose last goal was a free kick in a 5-3 home Premier League win over Chelsea in July, has scored a goal which gives Liverpool complete control of this fixture. Tottenham Hotspur, who have been pretty cautious in attack, have set up to defend and then try and spring Son and possibly Kane in from over the top of the high line that Liverpool sometimes keep. But they haven't had too much joy in doing so. Scoring 2 goals against this team is always going to be difficult. To come from 2-0 down to get anything from this match is going to be a mighty task now for Jose Mourinho and his team. Lamela, one of those half-time changes. All his half-time plans are ruined very quickly. On to Bergwijn, edge of the area. Højbjerg, oh, maybe they're not. He's just spanked one in from 20 yards. What a response from Tottenham. Crashing the ball from the edge of the D. Pierre-Emile Højbjerg scores his first goal for Tottenham Hotspur, and it's an absolute blaster. Set up by Bergwijn, smashed in by Højbjerg. Nothing Alisson could do about that, and Tottenham are back in the game within seconds of conceding a second.
What a response this is from Tottenham Hotspur and Højbjerg. I mean, I've been so critical of him in recent months because he's been absolutely awful in front of goal. There's no one worse in front of goal this season so far, but as he comes onto it, he just absolutely drills it. It's coming across his body, he lets it just drift across onto his right foot, and he absolutely drills it with a little bit of fade on it away from Alisson into the side netting. What a wonderful strike that was.
Well, Jose Mourinho, who implemented a change of formation at half-time. I will get to tell you what that change of formation is now. Lloris is the goalkeeper. Doherty, Rodon, Dyer and Davis are now back four, with Winks, Højbjerg and Ndombele in midfield. Lamela on the right, Bergwijn on the left and Son through the middle. Kane has been substituted at half-time. Have dragged themselves back into the game after conceding a very quick second goal to Liverpool. Nat Phillips has only been on the field a few seconds. He's just been booked. So Liverpool have got their own troubles. They've made their change at the break because of an injury to Joel Matip. And they have Alisson in goal. Trent Alexander-Arnold, the goal scorer of Liverpool's second. Henderson, Phillips and Robertson the back four. Milner, Thiago and Wijnaldum. And then Salah, Firmino and Mane in attack. Well, Tottenham Hotspur get back into the game with a blaster from Højbjerg. Caught that brilliantly. And Jose Mourinho is stalking down the touchline, tapping his temple, shouting and screaming at his troops to switch on, to stay concentrated, because for the first 2 minutes of this second half, Dean Ashton, they did not.
No, they didn't adjust to the new formation quick enough. Doherty was too high, Davis was too high.
Ball headed away by Davis, on to Salah. Salah trying to get back and ahead of Dyer, who comes across quickly and knocks it out of play, although there was an offside flag up eventually for Salah's initial run, so that will not be a corner kick. It will indeed be a free kick on the edge of the area to Tottenham Hotspur, who trail by 2-1. It was 1-0 at half-time. In fact, just before half-time, it was 0-0. We've had 3 goals in speedy succession, and Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, with, I think, almost a sort of release of frustration, cracked that ball harder than he's cracked anything, and it almost ripped the net in front of the south stand, and Tottenham are within touching distance of Liverpool after the game threatened to escape away from them.
It was a Viking-like strike, wasn't it?
Yes, it was brutal and violent from Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, who...
That's his own words, by the way.
What, the Viking goal?
Yes.
He's a Dane, Scandinavian. Here is Ndombele poking it forward after winning it back up to Bergwijn, who flicks it into the air, away by Henderson. Didn't take care of the ball there. Tottenham Hotspur, 2 players collide, including Rodon and Thiago. Immediately Martin Atkinson calls for the physios to come over and sort out the head injury. Didn't score too many goals, Højbjerg. That was his first club goal since March 2019, when he scored against Brighton for Saints.
The reason I said he calls himself a Viking, that was when he had a lovely little tweet exchange with Josh De Silva of Brentford when he got sent off in the semi-final.
He did. De Silva got sent off, didn't he? And
exactly.
It was a very gracious tweet, I think, from Højbjerg, wasn't it?
It was, but he did say, "I am a Viking and I will be fine."
It's okay. You can put your stud through my shin pad, gash my shin. I'll be fine. It's okay. I'm a Dane. Yeah, but he's a warrior, and he's shown that tonight. And Tottenham still behind by 2-1, and Hugo Lloris has had a bit of a difficult evening, hasn't he? I mean, you can apportion blame to both Lloris and Eric Dyer for the first goal, I think, but the way he dived to his left and seemed to push it almost straight into the path. I mean, if he is going to parry that shot from the edge of the area, he needs to parry it round the post, doesn't he, rather than push it back out into an open penalty area.
Of course he does, or even
just catch it,
or yeah, that would be great. But look, it is a slick surface, so I can see why he'd maybe want to parry it away. But you don't have to parry it out for a corner necessarily, but at least parry it out to the side. He parried it back in towards the area where Alexander-Arnold was coming onto it, and he didn't half control it very well, though. Alexander-Arnold just fired it into the ground, and on this sort of surface, if you do that, it just skips away from the goalkeeper too quickly.
Scores Tottenham 1, Liverpool 2 on TalkSport with Now TV. Don't forget, you can watch Arsenal versus Manchester United live this Saturday with a Now TV Sky Sports Pass for just $9.99. Search Now TV.
Thiago's gone off, by the way, right down the tunnel. He ran off with what looked like a white pat off.
Was that a head injury? Or?
Yeah, it must be either going off.
They had the head injury. They saw some treatment, didn't they? And has he gone off with a bit of gauze on his head?
He literally ran down the tunnel. So he's
going for stitches.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All staples nowadays. Or glue.
Shall we just pretend it's the glue? I don't think we need to think about the staples and the stitches, do we?
No, sorry.
It's going to be put back together. And things are going to stop coming out of it. Here is Ndombele, midway inside the Tottenham half. Lamela runs up midway inside the Tottenham half, the Liverpool half of the field, and then almost gives it away. And Ndombele's got it right side. Tottenham 1, Liverpool 2. You're listening to TalkSport. Here is Lamela, and back to Winks, and then Ndombele tries to thrust it into the path of Son, and it's cleared away. And now with a very tight looking bandage, Thiago is back on the field of play. That was quick. Here is Davis down the left side into the area. At the near post is Bergwijn, tries to flick it through, and it doesn't quite reach its intended target and is cleared away. It's too much of that from Bergwijn as Thiago picks the ball up and pinches it from Dyer, then sends it to the left and Mane. There's a run on the far side for Salah, a little over by Thiago, and Salah is in, and so is the ball, smashed in by Mohamed Salah beyond Hugo Lloris. He can't be apportioned any blame on this occasion. This was brilliant play from Thiago to set the attack away. They broke down the left, fed Mane, he then saw space for Salah on the far side, a little over from Thiago allowed it to run to the Egyptian, and he slammed it by Lloris. A fiercely hit shot from Mohamed Salah, and it's Tottenham Hotspur 1, Liverpool 3.
Well, they're incensed though, the Tottenham players. They're sure that Firmino handled it, and possibly even Thiago stuck his shoulder, top of the arm, in towards it as well in the build-up to the goal. But look, let's take nothing away from Mohamed Salah. He's got a wonderful record against Tottenham, and he just gives Lloris the eyes. He goes as if he's going to do that one that he loves, that little bendy one into the far corner, and then just whips it, drills it into the near post top corner, but they'll be checking it.
Well, there is a delay here, so VAR, I'm guessing, is checking it. We don't have the benefit of those monitors showing us that action. We're looking at it now. Dyer and Firmino wrestling on halfway. I mean, I don't know what the accusation is there. I mean, it's Dyer fouling Firmino. Did it hit his hand? Oh, it did hit his arm, the bottom of his arm on halfway. Now, was that too far away from the final action for it to be considered?
Well, does he then control that? Because it hits his right arm, flicks to his left foot, which he then flicks it around the corner for Thiago. Does that happen if it hits his arm and then they're away?
Well, the answer is that the VAR is asking Martin Atkinson to go and have a look at it. It's in dispute because I think it actually comes off Dyer's arm onto Firmino's arm, onto Firmino's foot, and then round the corner to Thiago. They start the phase of play. Now, how far has that gone back?
Well, I think...
And does that count as part of the build-up to the goal?
I think it's key to the goal happening because it allows Thiago to get away and then on the counter-attack without that touch on the arm to his left foot to then play it around the corner for Thiago.
Yeah, I think he's going to rule it out, you know. Well, he's gone back for a second look. They're still wrestling. There was a handball, but was it relevant? It was, and that goal is going to be chalked off, and it's not 3-1. It is just 2-1 to Liverpool, and it is another goal that has been chalked off by the video assistant referee in West London, John Moss. It happened earlier on to Tottenham Hotspur when Son was offside after the lines were mapped on the pitch, and it's happened now after a handball from Roberto Firmino in the build-up to a goal for Mohamed Salah. It's 2-1 to Liverpool.
I mean, look, it's desperately unlucky from a Liverpool perspective. I think Tottenham would have felt very aggrieved if they hadn't have got that decision. I know that it was looked at after, I think it was the John Joe Shelby against, or West Ham, I think Declan Rice against Sheffield United incident, and then they talked about it needing to be directly
It had to be an immediate action before a goal. That is not an immediate action before a goal, though, Dean, is it?
It's not, but it's pivotal. What a great ball from Lamela.
Lamela picking out Bergwijn over on the far side, looking to try and find Son. It comes back on the edge of the area to Davies, but there's a bit of pushing going on, which the referee doesn't like, and it's going to be a free kick. So they changed it in the summer to the immediate action before a goal.
Because of that Declan Rice.
Because of the Declan Rice issue. So if that, by that measure, in comparison to that, I think that this incident happened a long way further back than the Declan Rice issue.
It did. Look, it was pivotal to the move happening, the counter-attack happening, because without that touch on the arm, Firmino may not have been able to then flick it with his left foot into Thiago, who then bursts away. But then there's another couple of passes before they actually score the goal.
I'm going to have to get the rule book out again and have another look at the laws and the handball and the changes over and over again that have happened so often. We had quite a lot in terms of changes at the beginning of this season, which sort of, I think, disrupted the start of the campaign. The producer Declan McCarthy was actually going through all of the protocols around penalties with us earlier on, and we worked out that January is going to be the leanest month for penalties this season. It started off with a ridiculous number, 20 penalties in 26 games in the month of September.
Yeah.
this month, I think we've got 38, 39 games or something like that. We're only going to have 20 penalties. So the number of penalties has certainly decreased over the course of the season. And I wonder whether or not they're keener not to give those penalty decisions. Well, we shall see. Ball is on the near side with Liverpool, and Wijnaldum tries to strike towards the near post. It goes out of play.
He's not had a great season for goals, Wijnaldum, and that showed with the snatched shot from outside the area. Good 5 or 6 yards wide, only the 1 goal for him. He seems to score more for Holland than he does for Liverpool.
He does. He's very good at scoring for Holland, but not so great at scoring for Liverpool. He has scored 2 goals this season, but they are few and far between. Wijnaldum. The debate will rage on about that handball, which has robbed Liverpool of a 3rd goal. It is an offence if a player deliberately touches the ball with their hand or arm, including moving the hand or arm towards the ball, gains possession, control of the ball after it has touched them, and then scores in an opponent's goal or creates a goal-scoring opportunity.
Well, that's not what it was. It was basically
it wasn't a goal-scoring opportunity.
No, it was a pass in midfield. So it touched his hand and then he passed the ball in midfield.
I think it's too far back.
I agree. Because I vividly remember after that Declan Rice Sheffield United incident, everyone was enraged, and I knew they looked at it for this season.
Well, we will ask PGMOL.
And you can understand it when it leads directly to a goal.
Yeah.
But that was 2 phases.
And on the halfway line.
Exactly.
It will be much disputed.
Of course.
But then again, I did ask for clarification about the Aston Villa Manchester City goal the other week, and they told me it was 100% definite.
and then
changed the law. Tottenham 1, Liverpool 2. You're listening to Talk Sport, and there has been some controversy about that Liverpool disallowed goal. But I mean, for Tottenham Hotspur, it's a great thing because they're still within touching distance of Liverpool. Maybe for the game, it's a good thing. For the neutral, it will keep them listening and watching. But for Jurgen Klopp, if Tottenham were to score the next goal in this game, that's going to be a massive moment. It's going to be a massive talking point.
Of course it is. Of course it is. At 3-1, you think that's it. The game's over.
Here's Bergwijn for Tottenham, moving it out towards the far side. 63 minutes gone on the big clock, which is now just sort of shielding under the lip of the roof from the rain, which is starting to tumble down here in North London. As Salah wins it, takes on Harry Winks. Winks drags him to the floor. Højbjerg goes across. Play on, because Firmino's got it inside the area, and he slams it into the side netting. And it goes behind for and away for a goal kick.
Well, the referee's assistant he sort of jutted his arm up with the flag and then quickly put it down, realising that the player had to obviously continue. I think he was flagging probably, actually, he felt it was possibly a foul. Martin Atkinson said, no, play on, I'm happy with it.
I thought it was a foul as well, but I think if Firmino hadn't got into the penalty area, then they would have probably have given a free kick. But I thought Firmino had the advantage. Difficult angle for him to score from there, though, Dean.
Of course it was. I think that was the only way he was going to score, probably, was to drill it into the near post top corner, which sometimes you can catch goalkeepers out with because they're expecting the one to the far post. If you drill it hard enough, sometimes it can flash past them.
Stalking around inside that technical area, Jose Mourinho is stomping. He looks bruised. Ball into the box towards the far post. Oh, he's left it. Mane go Rodon, and he's picked it up and smashed it home, and Liverpool now have a 3-1 lead. There's no debate about that one. Sadio Mane scores his 10th goal of the season, and Joe Rodon has got no one else to blame apart from himself. It's a very lonely position for him now, because as that ball came across inside the 18-yard box, he had a chance to intercept and clear. He switched off. He didn't see Mane coming in behind him. He didn't deal with it. Mane did. On the volley from Trent Alexander-Arnold's delicious ball into the penalty area, he slammed it home to make it Tottenham 1, Liverpool 3.
Well, I'm going to say it's great play from Trent Alexander-Arnold. When you play this ball in as a wide player and you whip it right round the back of the defence, and Rodon's facing his own goal, that's not a natural position for a defender, and it's bounced at waist height. I mean, what does he do? Does he stoop and head it? Does he try and get his knee on it? In the end, he's so indecisive because of the quality of the ball that it then falls to Mane, who's just alive to the situation and brilliantly controls the half volley, thrashing it past Lloris. Yes, it's a terrible mistake, but got to give credit to the ball in. It was a really difficult one for Rodon to deal with.
Well, that's a cracker. And probably Liverpool will feel now that they've got what they've deserved in the match, which is yet another goal. It's Tottenham 1, Liverpool 2, rated excellent on Trustpilot with over 80,000 reviews. The goal coming from Sadio Mane. Here's Bergwijn trying to immediately respond again. Tottenham, who haven't really had much say going the other way, have found themselves conceding goals against a team that have stopped scoring them. Liverpool, who clammed up over the New Year period and hadn't scored a Premier League goal in 2021, have scored 3 tonight at the new Tottenham Hotspur Stadium.
I mean, again, questions will be asked with Jose's team that he picked. Alderweireld and Sanchez both sat on the bench there. The decisions you make as a manager. Rodon playing, starting a Premier League game, and a big one at that.
It's only his 6th Premier League appearance since moving for Swansea in the summer for £11 million, Joe Rodon. And he just got caught out by that beautiful arcing delivery from that wand of a right foot possessed by Trent Alexander-Arnold, which he hesitated, didn't know whether to go and meet it, let it run, and you could see he was absolutely furious. He slammed his arms down, he screamed to the heavens. He knew that was a moment where he was called upon to deal with something important.
Also, I think you can question Lloris. He probably takes that in the stomach beyond the penalty spot, and Trent Alexander-Arnold's crossed it from near the halfway line. You can ask the keeper, are you not alert? I think Alisson would be. He'd been further out of his goal looking for any ball that was played.
Come and catch that?
Well, played in behind, just come and gather it. If you're really switched on as a goalkeeper and you're a little bit further forward, I mean, Trent's not going to score from the cross position near the halfway line.
Do you think, if we look over the course of the 68 minutes we've had so far, defensive mishaps have been a real problem for Tottenham tonight?
Yeah, it's been one of the things that I think they've really cut out this season, is them sort of Spursy mistakes in the big games, and I think they've been very, very good in that sense defensively. Eric Dyer, when Alderweireld and Sanchez have played, there's not really been mistakes. Lloris hasn't been spoken about, and he's certainly got mistakes in his game, ones that really are highlighted. And I just think not very proactive, Hugo Lloris, in that sense. But of course you can blame Rodon. He's got to deal with it. He's got to judge the flight of the ball quicker. But I think he can. I think when they look back and we get to see a replay of it, I think Hugo Lloris can certainly be helping his defence out. I think keepers are becoming more and more improved in that sense, being braver to come out and deal with situations further out of their 6-yard box.
Well, Liverpool lick their lips usually at the prospect of facing Tottenham. They have won their last 5 meetings in the Premier League with them, and into that, the breaking their hearts in the Champions League final of 2019. And you can understand why Spurs fans met this encounter with a sense of foreboding, and they were right to do so. Liverpool, who ended their last winless run of such length with a victory by 2 goals over Tottenham Hotspur back in 2017, are seemingly on their way to doing so again.
Just seen a quick replay actually of the goal on the little monitor in front of me, and I think it's absolutely as much Hugo Lloris's fault as it is Rodon's. The ball from Alexander-Arnold is from really far wide and closer to the halfway line than the 18-yard box, and he doesn't come out of his 6-yard box.
Firmino onto Thiago, and he swipes across the ball, and it spills out over on the far side and just swirls straight into the empty stand. Tottenham have got a problem, haven't they? Because this latest defeat leaves them in a sticky situation in the table. I mentioned it earlier that this is one of those odd seasons where things change so quickly. They were fighting for top spot not so long ago. They're going to be 8 points behind Manchester City, having played the same number of games at the end of tonight. They're going to be 2 points behind West Ham in 5th, with a game over the Hammers, and they don't want to finish outside the top 5 after such a bright start to the campaign, and they've got some difficult fixtures to come. They've got Brighton away. Brighton don't usually win at home, but it's always a tough game for Tottenham. Tottenham usually, for whatever reason, seem to struggle against Brighton. Chelsea at home here next Thursday night. That's going to be a huge fixture with Thomas Tuchel taking over at Stamford Bridge. West Brom at home, Everton away, and then Manchester City away. So there's tests to come for Tottenham in the next few weeks.
And possibly without Kane.
And that, of course, is the big worry. Taken off at half-time with an injury after getting a double tap on his ankles early in the first half, and then right at the end of the first half he was down again because of an ankle injury. Substituted at the break. A rejig for Tottenham, unsettled within seconds by Alexander-Arnold. They thought they'd conceded a third when Salah slammed one home, and they did concede a third when Mane hit on 66 minutes. It's Tottenham 1, Liverpool 3, and Tottenham are struggling. Here is Ndombele over on the far touchline, trying to get Tottenham forward. Haven't really been able to get any possession in the game since going 3-1 down. Liverpool so happy now just to keep the ball inside their own half. They've lost it here though. Alexander-Arnold has given it away. It's collected by Son. Running centrally is Harry Winks. Then forward towards Lamela. Lamela out to Doherty. Doherty has had a difficult evening. Comes towards the right angle of the penalty area and then sends it back to Winks. When they get into the Liverpool half, when they're not counter-attacking, you mentioned it in the first half, there's a slowness, there's a lethargy to their pace. They haven't got the kind of zip that you need to stretch the Liverpool backline.
There's actually a lack of ideas as well, a lack of movement from all of the front players. I mean, Son's mate has gone off and he's not touched the ball yet, I don't think. Maybe just once or twice he's touched it. He looks already a frustrated figure as the lone striker, and can't exactly rely on Lamela and Bergwijn for goals at the moment.
Well, you couldn't rely on Liverpool for goals before tonight. They've got 3 though this evening. We've seen some great goals as well, haven't we? I mean, it'll probably be forgotten in the fullness of time because of the victory that Liverpool look to almost certainly be waging on Tottenham. But Højbjerg's crack was a special sight.
Well, I mean, you just think how important that heel of Son was in the first half. If they'd been able to go ahead, that suits Tottenham to get the lead.
Although the way they defended tonight, I'm not sure they would have been able to hang on to it.
Good point.
Headed away by Henderson, on to Robertson, cut out by Lamela, and Ndombele tries to engage with Robertson deep inside his own half, and Ndombele gets the thumbs up from his manager Jose Mourinho. Wijnaldum being wrestled by Lamela. Milner brings it clear, on to Firmino, space for Thiago. Anyone watching him? Not really. Here's Salah moving into the edge of the area, onto his left foot, through the legs of the defender. It almost came through to Thiago, but it just went behind him. Still they win it back high up the pitch, Liverpool, as Tottenham attempt to clear through Winks. It's picked up by Mane, edge of the box, trying to run it towards the edge of the D, but decides to go backwards and just consolidate before finding Trent Alexander-Arnold, whose delicious delivery from the right-hand side caused Joe Rodon to have a momentary panic, and Tottenham to concede their 3rd goal of the night. 15 minutes to go before the end of the game. It's Tottenham 1, Liverpool 3 on TalkSport.
I mean, I would say that at the moment Jose would have to take some of the flack. I mean, the team he selected for the first half just allowed Liverpool to gain in confidence with plenty of the ball and plenty of space in midfield. The fact that he then had to change it and change formations at half-time, I think, made him realise that he'd got it wrong. Yeah,
I mean, whether or not he will be prepared to admit that, I think, is another matter of debate. We might find out on the sports bar when I go down to the touchline and speak to him later. However, the fact that he did change it at half-time is an admission of that, isn't it?
Of course it is, and that's what a good manager should do, is recognise the faults of his team and change it. It's just to concede so early, straight in the second half.
Mane to Salah, who chases down the right side. He's watched by Ben Davies, who gets in front of him and just about manages to nudge the ball away. Tottenham's half clearance comes to Trent Alexander-Arnold, and now it's with Thiago.
They can't keep it now, Tottenham.
They've hardly touched it, have they, since...
There's a real sort of poor body language about them all. And Ndombele's walking, Højbjerg walking, Son walking, Lamela walking. It's not very good. It's not a good look.
And Liverpool only 4 points off the top with a victory here. It ain't over yet. Ball on the halfway line with Thiago. A little sidestep away from Harry Winks. They're bossing the game now, Liverpool. They're in charge. They've had a lot of the ball over the course of the 77 minutes that we've played so far, but they've got a swagger about them again now. Milner back to Nat Phillips, who I think might find himself in the team on a regular basis in the Premier League. Here on the right side is Salah into the area, in behind Dyer, who's struggling to keep up with him, eventually just about nudges it away, and it's out for a Liverpool corner.
I tell you who's got his swagger back. Trent Alexander-Arnold had a brilliant game. Just then it was stuck under his feet, but he still had the vision to whip it over the top of Davies' head for Salah, he'd come short as if he wanted it short, and then quickly just spun in behind, spotted by Alexander-Arnold, who flicked it in behind. He's starting to look like the player.
Thiago coming on off the pitch for Curtis Jones. Another change for Liverpool. For the latest odds, you can head to Betfair, the official betting partner of TalkSport's Premier League coverage. Right now you can get Tottenham to win at 129-1. You can back the draw at 29-1, or a Liverpool win at 25-1 on a Salah goal next at 6-1. It's all thanks to Betfair. More ways to bet, more ways to win. Full terms and conditions at betfair.com. 18+. Please be gambleaware.org. Corner comes in from the right side, swung in by Trent Alexander-Arnold, headed away by Tottenham and out to the ball to the far side. Gareth Bale preparing to come on. I suppose is it a sad indictment of Gareth Bale's time at Tottenham Hotspur that when Harry Kane was injured, they didn't turn to him?
Of course. Jose can't trust him defensively to do the job that Bergwijn does. I'm pretty sure Bale would offer a hell of a lot more going forward and more of a threat than Bergwijn, but just don't feel as if Jose trusts him in that role, which is why he would pick other players. And you're right, it is a shame, because so much was expected of him when he came here.
Tottenham trying to break on the counter. Son gets midway towards the Liverpool goal before he's surrounded by a cloak of red shirts, smothered, loses the ball, and Liverpool bring it forward again. Henderson blocked by Højbjerg, won by Davis, charges forward, and Ndombele takes over. He looks up to see if he can spin the ball in behind. He does that, but it's too hefty, and Son, who looks forlorn, he looks isolated, he looks friendless, but top of the formation, just lets his chin rest on his chest as he trots back into position.
That's a good description. He does look flat, doesn't he, Son? But Alisson there, total contrast to Hugo Lloris down the other end. He was on the edge of his 18-yard box waiting for that ball to be played over the top, as if he was a sweeper as part of the defence.
All given away by Wijnaldum inside the area. Højbjerg's ball into the box is a waste. What a chance gifted to Tottenham. Liverpool trying to play out from the back. Tottenham attack squeezed up and put pressure on them. They won the ball. Højbjerg got free inside the box, and instead of just playing it square to Ndombele, he tried to chip it with a really poor execution, which went flying over the head of Son, and that was a chance and a way back into the game for Tottenham. Missed.
It was. Gini Wijnaldum with a poor ball back to Henderson, cut out, and you're right, that's not going to improve Son's mood whatsoever, because it was just an easy pass, wasn't it? So just all he needed to do was play it in just low along the ground to Son. Instead he decided to chip it up for some reason.
Gareth Bale comes onto the pitch and scored twice in a Champions League final. In fact, turned the tide of a Champions League final against Liverpool in 2018, remembered most for Loris Karius's mishaps. 3 goals in 4 starts. He scored against Wycombe, played quite well in that game. Can he rescue Tottenham here? 10 minutes to go. He's on for Bergwijn. At the moment, it's Liverpool who look favourites to go on and claim all 3 points, thanks to goals from Firmino, Trent Alexander-Arnold and Mane, whose goal was assisted by Trent Alexander-Arnold. And you mentioned him earlier, with 5 goals and 16 assists. He's been involved in more goals than any Premier League defender since the start of last season.
That's not too bad, is it?
It's not too bad. 16 assists for a defender in a season and a half. How many assists did you get in your career?
Probably not that many. So I didn't want to pass it.
True, but you got a few more goals, I suppose. 3-1 to Liverpool.
Well, it's incredible. People are writing him off as if there's no way he should have an England right-back spot. It's fine. It's too...
Do you think people have been saying that? Is that really what people think?
Well, I don't think he would be the number 1 pick for a lot of people in the right-back spot for England.
I think he'd be the number 1 pick if they were playing right wing-backs, which they may well end up doing. And maybe right-back is a problem because of the fact that people feel he gets done in behind, and by the top quality opposition he could find himself out of position. But if you're playing 3 at the back and you've got the opportunity to have him as your wing back, you've got to get him into the team. His delivery is sumptuous, although Reece James is very good from that sort of position as well, although whether or not he gets any game time under Thomas Tuchel is something that we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, there's a lot in that camp, isn't there? There's a few sad faces sat on the Chelsea bench last night.
Here is Højbjerg. It's out towards the right hand side, and Doherty sends it long, angled towards Son, and then it's headed away by Nat Phillips and then sent out wide towards the right hand side. The PGMOL have been in touch to talk to us about that disallowed
personally
goal.
To you,
and not necessarily personally to me, but personally to our in-stadium producer Declan McCarthy. They have said because Firmino's handball was deemed a deliberate movement, it doesn't matter how far the play, how far back in the play it was.
What?
My first thought was,
is that a brand new rule?
Where has that come from? I mean, look, they'll probably text me and tell me that I'm wrong about it, but I mean, I've never heard that before. Have you?
And there's not a chance that he meant it. Not a chance that he meant it. Like you said, he was wrestling with Eric Dyer, and it came off Dyer's arm onto his arm. Incredible.
Yeah, sometimes it's probably best not to say what you really think. Shall we crack on? Tottenham 1, Liverpool 3. Maybe you can have your say and interpret those thoughts for us. 08717 223344 is the number to call. You can speak to Andy and Jason straight after we finish here. We'll try and bring you live reaction from both managers after the game. The ball's on the halfway line with Tottenham, and Lamella has been played in by Davis. Davis into the area, trying to go into a wing position. Phillips comes across and snuffs out the attack. Good defending by Nat Phillips. And it's cleared away by Salah up towards the halfway line. Tottenham have seen a lead disappear in these circumstances before. Can they rub out Liverpool's? Not at the moment, because Salah's coming forward again into the area. A little back heel doesn't quite come off to Jones. He really should have released Mane on the far side, but didn't do it.
4v4, that was a great opportunity for Salah just to play that reverse pass or back heel into Jones. And he doesn't, but they've just looked so good going forward, haven't they? Or Tottenham have looked so bad defensively. I think actually Liverpool have really grown in confidence after getting that first goal before half-time.
It's there, isn't it? The chests are out, the swagger's back. They look like the cock of the walk once more. And that's dangerous going into the latter part of the season. I'd said it before the game, I really believe that whoever won this game would still fancy their chances of challenging for the title. If someone lost this game, I think it scrubbed out their ability to be able to challenge for that honour. And I think I'll stand by that. Ball has been sent forward by Højbjerg, looking to get the ball up to Gareth Bale. Out comes Alisson, heads the ball on the edge of the penalty area out on the far side. And Divock Origi is about to come on for Liverpool, having not scored in his last 35 sub appearances for Liverpool. In fact, the last time he scored as a sub, do you know?
Champions League final?
Oh, cracking. Absolutely spot on. Against Tottenham, funnily enough. And he's coming on now. Ball is in the arms of Hugo Lloris. And Tottenham fans will say it hasn't been in the arms of Hugo Lloris enough tonight. Bale, just short of the centre circle. Well, Dean Ashton's certainly saying that. Bale out to the far side. On to Davis and then Son. 5 minutes to go before the conclusion of this match. Is there any way that Tottenham can get back into it before then? They need to score pretty quickly if they're going to rescue this situation. Ball is out wide to Højbjerg. We've seen late goals before. Liverpool, who are 21 points worse off than last season. I mean, it highlights the problems they've had this campaign, but also underscores how good they were last campaign. Needed a victory tonight. You felt they needed to get back on the wagon after 5 Premier League games without 3 points in the bag. Gareth Bale's just tried to play an ambitious left-footed shot into space for someone to run onto. I'm not entirely sure who it was for, because it just skewed off his toes and went straight behind and away for a goal kick. Roberto Firmino is about to come off. He scored the first of Liverpool's trio of goals, his 6th of the season. He got a 90th minute winner against Spurs earlier in the campaign. He hadn't scored in his last 7 appearances before that, but he always scores against Spurs. And he's replaced by Divock Origi for the final 3 minutes of the game.
I've been impressed with Firmino. I thought he looked bright against Manchester United in the cup game, with a great assist for Salah's first goal. And he's been bright and energetic and looked to drop off and cause problems all evening.
Cleared away by Alisson. Out towards the far side. I wonder if Jose Mourinho will be kicking himself about his team selection. Why was Alderweireld on the bench? Why was Sanchez on the bench? Why was Rodon starting this game when he had little experience of these big game fixtures? Spurs have often turned up in big games. They've got a lot of points against those in the traditional top 6 so far this season, but not today. They've been taken apart in this second half by a very good Liverpool attack, who are on the move again. Jones down the right-hand side. Aurier taken off at the break. Kane injured, big concern. Questions to answer for Jose Mourinho about where they go from here. Here is Origi taking the ball into the corner and allowing it to go out on the far side. What's your view on it? I mean, are they out of the title race now?
I think you would have to say so, with just the form that Manchester City are in, the way that Liverpool can play when they play like this. You know, look at Tottenham. They don't dominate the game, even against the so-called lesser teams. They still like to look to counter-attack against them, rather than dominating the ball and having wave after wave of attacks. And well, I mean, wouldn't it be amazing if Jose just came out and said, do you know what, I got this wrong tonight. I got the formation wrong, the way I set the team up wrong, possibly was too cautious and paid the price. But like you said, not sure there's much chance of that. Can you squeeze it out of him?
I'll ask him just that. Here is Son running forward to Højbjerg. Højbjerg out wide towards Bale. Bale moving towards the edge of the penalty area, down towards the corner flag. Højbjerg gets it back again, swings it in towards the box. It's headed away at the first man, and then Harry Winks. There's a half-hearted challenge with James Milner, who, by the way, has been all action. Oh, he's headed the ball back, though, towards his own goal, and then Son has gone down. I'm not entirely sure why he decided to do that, because Phillips was playing the ball, not the man, and it's out of play on this near side and away for a throw.
Yeah, I mean, look, just brilliant, brave defending from Phillips over the top of Son. Took a knee in the back for his troubles, as James Milner just has a little calf stretch, a little bit of cramp for the old boy.
That old boy is 35 years of age, just 35 years of age.
I can say that, can't I? He's around my age.
Is he? He's younger than you, isn't he?
He is, but I played with him at under 21 level.
Did you?
I did.
What was he like then?
He was exactly what he is now. Unbelievably professional, super fit.
Piercy talks about how dedicated he was to the profession. He's the kind of character you want in the dressing room. There's no secret to his success. Hard work, graft, diligence, making sure all the boxes are ticked. He's got a fantastic work ethic, and that's the reason he's got a cabinet full of medals.
I think his sense of humour's improved as well by what I've seen on Twitter of him. He was always pretty quiet.
It took him a while to develop that particular skill. Listen, sometimes it takes...
it's been genius, the fact that he's playing on the sort of...
boring James Milner thing.
Exactly,
He certainly has come out of his shell in recent years, hasn't he? Here is Wijnaldum inside the centre circle for Liverpool, winning a ball which drops out of the sky. We're going into 5 minutes of injury time at the end of the 90 on TalkSport, the last of our 10 games exclusively live to national radio here on TalkSport this week. We've had some great stories, haven't we? The arrival of Tuchel, the win for Burnley at home to Villa, the Jordan Pickford fumble, Mikel Arteta orchestrating a win and then demanding that we recognise that his young players can't play 55 games over the course of a season. And now the climax, a crash, a bang and a walloping from Liverpool, flexing their muscles in the title race, showing that they still mean business. Do not write them off just yet. Here is Ndombele, up to the edge of the area, out to the far side. It's picked up by Son, then on to Davis. It all looks a very forlorn task for Tottenham now. They're going through the motions, they're waiting for the clock to tick, they're waiting for those minutes to come up and know that the job is done so they can move on to their next game against Brighton Sunday night, 7:15, before preparing for a big game against Chelsea. Mourinho's stony-faced, hands folded in front of his chest, looking at his watch, wondering how long he's got before he can deliver the final few words of the night to his players and start planning once again. Son, Ndombele, blocked by Origi, back to Ndombele, cut out by Milner. 550 appearances in the Premier League, still going right to the very end, snapping away, being aggressive, causing issues for the opponents.
Well, he's been that kind of Henderson figure in midfield this evening. He's been all energy, sticking his foot in when it's needed, winning the ball back. That's so important to the way Liverpool play.
Jose's zips malfunctioned at the bottom of his cardigan. you know when you zipped your jacket up and the bottom starts to come undone?
Oh, it's horrible.
Oh, I hate that. That's happened to Jose. Well, a lot of things have come undone tonight. His defence on 3 occasions, in fact on 4 occasions really, to be honest, but one of those goals was chalked off. And you might want to talk about that chalked off goal, which apparently, because it was a deliberate act, happened far too far. It doesn't matter how far it happened behind the goal. It doesn't matter, it's fine.
No, yeah, exactly.
08717 223344 is the number to call if you'd like to get in touch and talk about that. Or Jose's team selection. Why on earth was Alderweireld and Sanchez on the bench? Why is Sissoko not playing in a combative midfield? Why were there only 2 central midfielders and they got overrun in that first half? He had to change it at half-time as a result of that. What's the future going to look like without Harry Kane? Ask Andy Goldstein and Jason Cundy. Air your views. 08717 223344. That's the number to call. It's the only bar that's open. It's the only place taking your calls on national radio. Here is Rodon into Højbjerg. Back to Rodon again. Goals from Firmino, Trent Alexander-Arnold and Mane in a show of strength by the reigning champions of England. 5 games without a Premier League win. It's coming to an end. Spurs about to lose for the first time in 2021 at the hands of a team that seemingly always beat them. Bale onto Son, edge of the area, and Ndombele's there too, but so is Milner, grafting and shepherding across and getting the ball away. Wijnaldum is brought down. We've only got 10 seconds of the allotted 5 minutes still to play. And Martin Atkinson just walks over, has a word with James Milner and Gareth Bale and Ndombele and Jurgen Klopp pulls his snoot up over his nose, rams his hand into his huge sleeping bag type coat, waits for Martin Atkinson to blow the full-time whistle. The steady cam from the host broadcaster is right up in the face of the German, who is still communicating to his players, and then gives a huge fist pump, because that is a show of strength from the reigning champions of England. Do not write them off just yet. Liverpool beat Tottenham for the 7th time in a row, and in doing so go back into 4th position and only 4 points back from the top of the table. There's still all to play for in the race to win the Premier League. Nothing is decided yet, but the winner looks like coming from a group that doesn't include Tottenham Hotspur. It's finished. Tottenham 1, Liverpool 3.